Ever since I became cognizant of the real problems in the ocean, I've become a big advocate of eating a whole fish. And when I talk about eating a whole fish, I mean the head too. And a few years ago, I came across a great recipe by my favorite cookbook author, Marcella Hazan, on how to make a fish head pasta sauce. And it is just, it's a grisly thing, but it's really kind of fun to do if you get into it. So what you do is you take a head, good sized head about like that, or you can take a few smaller heads, but I take a big striped bass head or something. You put it in a pan with oil, onion, garlic, parsley, a little bit of wine, some tomatoes, and you saute it on both sides. And you take the whole thing out, put it on a very large plate, and I would recommend a very large plate, and I would not recommend wearing your favorite shirt for this. You'll find that the cheek meat will slide right out, and the meat behind the head, the sort of shoulder meat, comes right out. Oftentimes in fishing communities, people always say that the cheek meat is the sweetest and the best part of a fish. All right, so you put that aside. Then what you do is then you're left with the rest of it. And after you've sauteed it, it's actually falling apart, and you'll see the whole thing will fall apart and become this mess on the plate. And you kind of pick through all that, and you take the big bones out, discard them, and you're left with this sort of pulpy mass. You put that through what's called a food mill, and that will kind of filter out the smaller bones, and then you ended up with this purple pile of stuff that turns out to be the essence of the sea itself. You put that into the pan again with the tomatoes and the oil and garlic that you had from before. You cook it down, and then you take the cheek meat and the shoulder meat and put it in at the end, and you put it all on top of the pasta. And the most important part about this recipe is you do not breathe a word of how it was cooked to the guests you are serving it to.